got a main event and a championship strap to talk about. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. But before that, let's talk about this beautiful t-shirt that I've got on and Nathan has on. It's True Classic Tees. You guys can save 15% on already affordable t-shirts. Just use Cube 15 and let's get right into it, shall we? Now, obviously, Israel Adesanya, like I said, is taking on Paulo Costa. This is a battle of the wills. It's a battle of the styles. It is the Stylebender taking on the Eraser. What are your first initial thoughts on when this fight was actually made with all of this beef that was happening? Israel wins, jumps on top of the cage, pointing at Borachinia. This has got all the makings of a classic, especially depending on how this plays out on Saturday. What do you think about this fight? Will we see a new champion or will we see another ruby added to the belt?
What we have to remember is that initially the criticism surrounding Stylebender right now is that he did not have a very exciting fight when he took on Yoel Romero. And the reason for that was that people were bored because Yoel didn't bring the fight. Paulo Costa brings the fight, okay? He is not one to sit back and wait and want to counterstrike, when he knows. He's like, I've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. I'm going to go kill Israel Adesanya. So that's to preface this. Now, That being said, the Beast gonna get slayed. I think Paulo Costa, the Beast, does not pose anywhere near the threat that a lot of casuals watching this think that he will. All right. And the reason that people will say Paulo Costa has the advantage in this fight is because of how hard he hits, and they'll look at the Gastelum fight and see that Izzy is hittable. And if he gets hit by shots of this power, then it's lights out. And I understand that train of thought. But you are terribly, terribly mistaken, because what happened was Kelvin Gastelum is actually a better fighter than Paulo Costa is. So what I mean by that is, in terms of head movement and strategy of shots and knowing when to rush in and knowing when to jump out, Kelvin Gastelum's way better at all of that. Paulo Costa only has one gear, and it's absolute sprint and try to kill. And when you are a counter fighter like Izzy, you live for that, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but Izzy was like 75-4 or something crazy like that in kickboxing. He has seen monstrous men before and has murked them. The guys who have beaten Izzy in kickboxing were guys like Izzy. They weren't guys like Paulo Costa. When you have this giant threat of a bull man running at you, what that does for Izzy is just make an opportunity to show what a guy that big looks like when he's getting outclassed by a big striker. And I hope I don't eat these words, because Izzy's going to take a massive shot, and it'll just and Paulo's going to win off of really what's a puncher's chance. But in terms of stylistic matchup and how good of a fighter each of these guys are, Israel Adesanya is the best striker in the game today. And anybody who has a game plan to strike with him is not going to have success. Period.
Let's look at the tail of the tape. Michael's tail of the tape, if you will. Reach advantage, Israel Adesanya, by a large margin. So that's length. Nice. Power advantage. Sure, we can give it to Paulo Costa. Tell me anywhere else he's better. Is it speed? Is it head movement? Is it footwork? Is it dynamic strike ability with different strikes? You don't know what's coming? No, and no. It's a bull. He's a marauder. He's going to barrel forward. And honestly, Israel put it the best. He said everyone's got power in this division. You don't need to be the hardest hitter, but if you hit someone square on the button, it's night. And to sprint out there and sprint at a dude and to get into range, to use those shorter arms, to throw hooks, that's a problem. Like, I don't see how Paulo Costa wins this fight unless Israel Adesanya does an Anderson Silva impression and starts fooling around out there. I just don't see a path to victory for Paulo Costa against a refined, elite, fluid, precision-oriented fighter. I don't care about power. If you pop a guy enough times, they'll feel it. And this isn't Colby Covington level of power or Nick Diaz where it's like ba 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 ba. This is, I can straight knock you out. This is going to be an amazing opportunity for Israel Adesanya to have his Roy Jones Jr. moment and say, y'all must have forgot.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing that what people also tend to forget is that your chin has a lot to do with your cardio. All right. And Paulo Costa, for as good a shape as he's in, and he is probably in the best shape of anybody else alive, right, is physically very, very impressive. But cardiovascularly, I don't know if he can sprint for 25 minutes, right? I don't know if after he's swinging at air and getting popped in the stomach every time he tries, if he's going to have that gas tank. So I don't know if Izzy's power shots will be able to knock him out because of how built he is in his chest and neck. Like, he's got such a protected area there. You know, he can just absorb a lot of shots, like just like Yoel could, right? Remember when Yoel got hit with a massive head kick against Paulo Costa, which most people would have probably ended their lives, never mind the fight. And he just kept coming through it. It's because of the delts, right? These giant shock absorbers that are going to take this damage. But I think over 25 minutes and over 5 rounds, which it might take Izzy to get, but don't think that just because it's 25 minutes, it's going to be a lame fight. I'll have you remember that 2 candidates for the fight of the year were Izzy versus Gastelum, and then more recently, Gaethje versus Ferguson. All right, 5 rounds is just more opportunity to watch an absolute barn burner. And if it's a clinic from Stylebender, no one's going to leave there disappointed.
The only way I see Paulo Costa having a shot, let's put it that way, is if he's patient. He needs to, and I don't know how a guy goes from being a mauler and a marauder and just trudging forward like a zombie almost to being patient and technical and surprising Izzy. But even if he tries to do that, Izzy will still see the holes in your game, especially when you're not used to playing that game. I just don't know how Paula, what am I, Israel? How Paulo Costa goes ahead and makes this happen. For me, I'm seeing Israel Adesanya by TKO beginning around 4, like midway through round 4. That's where I'm at. Take him into the championship rounds he's yet to be in and really just drown him. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, completely fair. I'll say, yeah, probably more of the same. I don't know if Izzy scores the finish, but let me tell you, Izzy's stardom goes from here to off screen if he can finish this beast of a man. And that's why I remember why he wanted to fight these physically massive guys. It was because he wants to say, I want to pop them before USADA does. He wants to fight the biggest, scariest guys to show everybody else, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of your size. Paulo Costa weighs 235 pounds. He's like, so what, dude? I'm still going to kill you.
Yep. Izzy's living that anime style life, and he just wants to take on the biggest and baddest looking dudes out here. He's going to prove that aesthetics and bodybuilding and having your body look like that is not how you win fights. It can be imposing if you don't know what you're doing, which he surely knows what he's doing. That's all from us. What do you guys think in the comment section? Let us know. Again, True Classic Tees, thank you so much for these awesome shirts. Guys, go use Cube 15 at checkout to save 15% on some awesome premium quality t-shirts.
Save money to look good. What more do you want, guys?
You heard the man, and now you heard me, and that's all we have for you guys this week. I guarantee Israel Adesanya will finish him. That's where I'm at. So let us know in the comments what you think about that. We'll catch you on the next video. For Nate, I'm Michael. We'll catch you next time on That's Fighting.